So Biden mega donor reportedly panicking amid growing calls about his fitness for office, but some key insiders, like our next guest, argue that putting Harris at the top of the ticket could be worse. Dmitri Mehlhorn telling fellow donors in a recent phone call, quote, Harris is more threatening to those swing voters than a dead Joe Biden or a comatose Joe Biden. Dmitri Mehlhorn is a strategist and advisor to LinkedIn founder and Biden donor Reid Hoffman, and he joins us now. So, sir, Dmitri, you were pretty strong with your statement. Your statement is not, I don't think, unheard of. Most of the Democrats privately say the same thing that you decided to say. So why the pushback?
So first of all, just so you know, that was private. That was the end of an hour-long call, and people in your profession got access and reported it. And that particular quote was only in the context of an extreme case. I was trying to make the point that Joe Biden has a brand, a reputation with the American public that is incredibly helpful against Donald Trump. Because for, you're a libertarian, you understand, in order for the cleansing fire of an authoritarian movement like Trump's to take out all of our laws and rules, you have to persuade people that the system is broken and irredeemably corrupt. And Americans just can't unsee that Joe Biden is patriotic and honest and decent, no matter what anyone has said. And that is the thing I was saying, is that that brand is there for Joe, and it's not there for anyone else.
Well, to Dmitri, to that point, and I get it, it was a private phone call. We have the call now. But a lot of people have expressed this when it comes to Kamala Harris. She was the first one out of the primary. The laughs, the cackles, really hasn't gravitated voters. The White House keeps giving her different assignments. Her staff have gone out in publications and talked about how hard it is working for her and that she doesn't read the information. When you look at the latest hypothetical, Trump is at 47, Harris is at 45. I mean, there is a real issue there. And I know it sucks ever having a private conversation put out there. But the idea that there are some Democrats that think that Harris is the solution, for many Democrats, Biden is better, right?
I mean, look, Biden is the best. If it's important to not have Donald Trump be president again, which we think it is, and I know you all disagree, if you think that's important, Biden is our best bet to defeat him. He's been chosen as the nominee by the party twice, and he has an incredible brand with the American public, and he's presided over the strongest economy in the world by far. And so that's just the best bet. Now, Kamala Harris is tough and savvy and a very tough prosecutor. So she can take the case that we should keep a criminal out of the White House.
But Dmitri, just me and you speaking here. I know there's millions watching.
No one's listening.
Do you really think Biden can, I'm not even talking about the election. Do you, after what you witnessed on the debate stage, do you really think he can do the job right now?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. You guys have talked about the media failing to address Biden's age.
Not his age, his acuity. Not his age. I don't care about the age. I don't care.
His acuity, yeah. So
I don't care
that's
about
the issue.
I don't care about age.
Right, Lawrence, that's the issue. It's acuity, mental acuity, right? So you had a debate, and you've talked about the media, you had a debate where one of the major party candidates demonstrated that they had lost touch with reality, unable to distinguish fact from fiction. Did you hear what Donald Trump said about General John Kelly?
Did
you hear what he said about John Kelly?
Dmitri, I love you, and I think you're a reasonable Democrat.
I love you too.
But when you start trying to compare, contrast a policy, when you have a president that can't make coherent statements, or remember where he's at, or remember the policy position that he's supposed to take. That's what we're debating. We're not debating facts of what candidates said and what lies they told. That's the game of politics. I just want a president, if he's gonna take a policy position, to actually know the policy, to actually know where he's at, to be able to complete his sentence, to know that he's talking about abortion and not immigration at the time. That's what we witnessed on that debate stage. And I haven't heard from Democrats yet on how they're going to be able to fill that void for voters to make that make sense.
Lawrence, you make excellent points. I'm not talking about policy. I'm just talking about cognitive ability. We have retained the best brain scientists in the world to evaluate Trump and Biden since 2019 because we have two very old candidates. And what we see is a man who is physically aging and is having having motor and mechanical decline against another candidate who has lost it, who cannot distinguish between facts and fiction. Joe, did you hear what Donald Trump said about his longest-serving chief of staff, John Kelly?
I watched the full debate, and I think we're going to disagree on policy. But I just want to understand.
No, this is not policy, Lawrence.
I just want to understand.
This is not policy.
Yeah,
it's not policy. Can this candidate distinguish between truth and reality?
Well, I mean, you got a president that was on stage and said no one died under his watch in the military. So we can go back and forth on that, but I don't want to have that conversation. I just want to see. I just want Democrats to let me know.
You're gaslighting your audience.
We're gaslighting.
We all saw it.
Listen, Dmitri, I was lectured to for over 3.5 years about a president that's fit for office. I don't think anyone of the Democratic Party can say that the right is gaslighting after you put a guy that was literally senile up there for us to see. But I'm out of time. Thank you so much for coming on the program. I appreciate the thorough debate.
Gaslighting us.
Thank you so much, sir. We got more Fox and Friends coming up.